Just moments ago, a SWAT standoff in Mountain View ended about 30 hours after the dangerous chain of events began. Good afternoon. Welcome to The 4. I'm Heather Myers.
I'm Carlo Cicchetto. Police say a man barricaded himself in a home after firing at officers and threatening neighbors with a gun. This all happened at 46th and T Street.
CBSA's Steve Price is there with what's happening right now. Steve.
And Heather and Carlo, you can see that the police tape is still up, but other than that, a very different scene right now than what we saw out here just a half an hour or so ago. Police have identified the suspect now as 68-year-old Reginald Smith. For 29 hours, he barricaded himself inside that house down there, which is on the corner of T and 46th Street. Now, during the SWAT standoff, officers tried several different tactics to try and convince Smith to give up.
Reggie, time to surrender.
Finally, just about an hour ago, it all came to an end. You can see Smith being wheeled out, put into an ambulance. Police aren't saying specifically how they got him into custody, but they did say that a canine was sent into the home. As for why this all happened, police say it started around 8:30 Sunday morning when a neighbor called to say that Smith fired a gun and was threatening people here in the area. Now, when officers arrived, they say Smith went inside the home, refused to come out. They also say he fired at least one round at officers. Smith has lived in this home for decades. Neighbors say he was a great guy, but a couple of years ago, his wife became terminally ill and it greatly affected his mental health. And when his wife later died, they say things went from bad to worse.
It just got hard for him. Miss Lila was his rock. He was always going places with Miss Lila. They always traveled and did everything together.
And police tell us that Smith will face multiple charges, including attempted murder on a peace officer. But once again, the situation here now in Mountain View is over. Carlo and Heather, neighbors finally being allowed to go inside their homes. One neighbor who lives directly across the street actually wasn't home when all of this started. Police wouldn't let them inside. Their dog was in the house, but they couldn't get in until just a few minutes ago.
And let's talk about that angle of the story here for a second, Steve, because if people were home, were they told to shelter in place and not leave? But if they happened to be out and about, they could not return home. What's the mood in the neighborhood like right now?
Well, the mood in the neighborhood right now is without question relief for a couple of reasons. Number one, because the streets have reopened, people can come and go as they want. But also, Heather, there is relief that they were able to get Mr. Smith out of his home alive. A lot of people were very concerned about how this was going to end. Although they weren't pleased with him because of his actions over the last year or so, they definitely wanted to see things end the way they did, with him not seeming to have any serious injuries.
Big sigh of relief as things seem to end about the best way they could have possibly. Steve Price reporting for us live. Thanks, Steve.